power of silence, why wise people speak less and win more in life. Pause for a moment and observe the people around you. In any room, in any meeting, in any gathering, who is speaking the most, and more importantly, who is being listened to the most. Here is an uncomfortable truth of life. Those who speak the most are often the most restless. Those who remain silent are often the most aware. Success in life is not created by noise, it is created by control, clarity, and restraint. From an early age, we are taught the wrong equation: speak more to look confident, respond quickly to appear strong, defend yourself constantly to prove your worth. But real-life business, leadership, negotiation, psychology is the opposite lesson. True power lives in silence. Wise people speak less not because they lack words, but because they understand the cost of words. They know that not every thought needs a voice, not every emotion deserves expression, not every challenge requires a response. Silence is not weakness. Silence is disciplined strength. It protects a person from emotional decisions. It saves him from unnecessary explanations. It frees him from the addiction of proving himself. When a person controls his silence, he controls his reactions. And when he controls his reactions, he controls his direction in life. Look closely at human interaction. Whether it is business, relationships, or power dynamics, the real game is not about speaking well, it is about who loses control first. The one who speaks too much reveals his needs, exposes his fears, and unknowingly hands over leverage. The silent one observes, he listens, he understands before acting. Silence gives time, and time is the rarest currency in decision-making. In negotiations, silence creates pressure, not on the silent person, but on the one who keeps talking. The human mind cannot tolerate uncertainty. When faced with silence, people begin to explain themselves, justify their positions, and often offer more than they intended. This is not manipulation. This is human psychology, life-changing. Decisions are not born in noise. They are shaped in stillness. Decisions made in anger turn into regret. Words spoken in haste become lifelong consequences. The wise understand this early. They pause when others rush. They observe when others react. They wait when others demand immediate outcomes. Silence trains the mind to see patterns. Patterns create understanding. Understanding creates advantage. That is why you will notice great leaders speak less but carry more weight. Strong individuals do not explain themselves endlessly. Successful people are not always the loudest in the room. They do not rush to respond to criticism. They do not chase validation. They do not fight every battle offered to them. Silence gives their presence gravity. When they speak, people listen because their words are read. In social settings, the most respected person is not the most talkative, but the most composed. In business, the most powerful negotiator is not the one who demands, but the one who waits. In life, the strongest individual is not the one who reacts fastest, but the one who responds wisely or chooses not to respond at all. Silence teaches when to stop, when to listen, and when to speak with intention. Master your silence, and you master yourself, and history quietly confirms this truth again and again. Wise people speak less and they win more in life if you want. And here is what most people never realize. Silence does not only protect you from mistakes, it reveals the weaknesses of others. When you stay quiet, people begin to speak to fill the gap. They explain more than necessary. They justify things you never questioned. They reveal motivations you never asked about. This happens everywhere: in business meetings, in negotiations, in relationships, even in conflicts. The person who speaks to much as unconsciously asking for approval. The person who remains calm and silent is subconsciously seen as confident, grounded, and in control. This is why silence unsettles people, not because it is aggressive, but because it is unreadable. The human mind is uncomfortable and it cannot predict the next move. Silence creates that uncertainty. And uncertainty shifts power. Look at real-life decisions. When emotions take control, people overshare, they promise too much, they accept less than they deserve. Silence slows this process, that it gives you the ability to see the full picture by revealing your position. Wise people understand one principle deeply. You never lose by listening, you only lose by speaking too early. In every important decision, career, partnerships, authority, the person who speaks first often gives away leverage. Silence is not empty, it is active observation. It is the space where intelligence works quietly. This is why disciplined silence creates better outcomes. It allows you to respond instead of react to choose instead of chase, to lead instead of follow. Even in personal life, silence protects dignity. Not every insult deserves a reply. Not every misunderstanding requires explanation. Not every opinion needs correction. Explaining yourself constantly does not make people respect you more, it often does the opposite. Those who are secure do not feel the need to convince. Those who are strong do not argue their worth. Silence teaches emotional mastery. It trains the nervous system to stay calm under pressure. It prevents words that cannot be taken back. It keeps you aligned with long-term goals instead of short-term relief. This is why wise people pause. They pause before replying to messages. They pause before agreeing to deals. They pause before reacting to disrespect. That pause changes everything, because life is not decided by speed. It is decided by accuracy. The fastest response is rarely the best one. The quiet response is often the most powerful. Silence also creates authority. When you do not rush to speak, people assume you are thinking. When you do not explain everything, people assume you know more. When you are not desperate to be heard, people become curious about your words. This is not arrogance. This is presence. Presence is louder than noise, and presence is built through silence. In the end, life rewards those who can control themselves, those who can delay gratification, those who can hold emotions, those who can wait for the right moment. Silence sharpens judgment. It refines decisions. It strengthens character, and that is why again and again history, psychology, and real life prove one truth: wise people speak less, but when they do, they shape outcomes, influence decisions, and quietly win in life.